Good day, my friends. Good day, good day, good day, and welcome and a happy Sunday to you. We have a lot to discuss, which I really want to spend time. I would like to course correct a lot of what's happening. I'd like to redirect a lot of what's happening. I'd like to take all of this attention that we have garnered by and through and because of Candace and others, and to refocus this into something political. I want you to understand, if we spend the rest of our time merely, not that this isn't interesting, not that it's not fun, not that it's not titillating and I think important, but if we spend the rest of our genius and time and effort focusing and deep diving only on matters that are Erica, we're wasting our time. She is going to collapse. She's going to go away. She's going to just somebody's going to say, listen, we're going to take a couple of weeks off, and then a couple of weeks are going to turn in. They have to. They realize it. She's a negative lightning rod. TPUSA, for all practical purposes, is a waste of time. It's a complete and total waste of time. That thing's done too. So that means while we're all here, the next thing that must be done is to go after and to correct and to address a group of people that are entitled and that are called specifically the truth generation. Let me explain this to you in greater detail, but first, this word from our sponsor. My friends, this is bigger than most people realize. While everyone watches missiles and fighter jets, the real battle is happening in the supply chain. Nearly every advanced U.S. weapon system depends on tungsten, yet America has barely mined it domestically in years, while China dominates global supply. Washington is now racing to fix that. The Pentagon has committed millions toward restarting domestic tungsten production, and President Donald Trump's Project Vault initiative launched a $12 billion critical mineral strategy to secure American supply chains. That's where Vault Strategic Mining comes in. Trading as KNOX in Canada and KNXFF in the U.S., Vault is building a strategic tungsten portfolio anchored by historic Nevada projects tied to past U.S. defense production. With tungsten prices climbing and global tensions rising, this is no longer just mining, it is national security. Check out the link below to learn more, and special thanks to Vault Strategic Mining for sponsoring today's video. Now, this may be a bit of a problem. Some people might not like this. Some people may not care for this, but some people may, irrespective of what you think. We live in a world that is very, very, very frightening, extremely frightening. And what I'd like to do more than anything else is to take all of this attention that we're spending and focus it directly and specifically on something even more important. And that is this world of, I guess for lack of a better word, this world of attention. Candace Owens, by the way, just ignited the truth generation. This is politics that will never be the same again if we spearhead it. If we take the people and explain to younger folks in particular, listen, while we're here, this is not just about, did you hear what Erica said? Did you hear what so-and-so said? Did you hear the TPUSA? That's important. That's critical. But we have people's attention. What is it that Candace is doing more than anything else? What is it that she is doing more than anything else? She is involved in something called the truth. And the truth is what's critical. The truth. I read the comments from folks all the time. And what I'm seeing is something like, thank you for standing up for Candace. It's like, I am, but I'm not. I'm standing up for what she's saying. Yes, indeed, she's the beneficiary of this, but it's what she's saying. It's the truth. We are living right now in one of the most frightening times because we have multiple nuclear countries with capabilities, new hypersonics, new missile systems, new threats that we never knew before. This is really serious. And I don't think people take it seriously enough. I think sometimes people feel almost as though they are, I think they feel that they're somehow blessed, imbued, in some kind of a, I don't know what you want to call this, some kind of we're just preferred by God or somebody. I don't know what the word is. I have no idea. And we live in this world where we don't really spend time explaining a lot that is going on in addition to what brought us here. And this is great. You know, Mikey McCoy and everything. Again, I'm not saying don't pay attention to that. But while young people are here, I like to say, would you like to take a brochure? What is going to happen to your immediate future? Many of these folks are thinking about getting married, having children, the next step. What are we offering them? The Democrats and the Republicans are dead. It is over. It is finished. It is past tense. It is through. The left-right paradigm is done. I cannot say this enough. I can't put this into words enough. I cannot say this enough. I can't. I can't. Fox News, forget cable left, MSDNC, that's gone. CNN is gone. Fox News, to many, many people, represent, it's kind of like it's MAGA, where it is the Trump cheerleader hour. And I'm not saying Trump doesn't deserve it in many respects, but their first goal is to hide from you anything that Trump might be doing which doesn't make any sense. And how do I say this? Keeping from you the realities of the world. I mentioned something the other day which happened, which is very, very critical. You understand this? Look at this. What kind of scumbag goes after a widow for clicks on the internet? You're kidding me. That's okay. You see, this is the idea. And by the way, thank you very much. If you think going after a widow for clicks, let me just address this. If you think that's what's about, that's okay. Keep this, because nothing draws. If I could not have drawn this better. Erica Kirk was fine until she took over as CEO and leader and chairman of TPUSA. Nobody ever thought about her. Nobody went after her. Nobody went after her before until she did two things. First, that absolutely disgusting example of whatever that was, laying over the corpse, the wax-like mannequin hands of Charlie with the Medal of Freedom in order to garner her own self-aggrandizement. Days after coming forward with this leaked TPUSA memo, I guess you didn't see that one, taking young people who they didn't care about, firing them for disloyalty, and basically putting together one of the most incredibly horrible groups of people who took the legacy of Charlie and are just debasing it. And also people, if you ask me, who never even cared for Charlie, never did anything to even protect him, including this head of security who didn't even have an ambulance ready, who threw him in the back of a car. You want me to go through this? And then you have the group of people like this widow who basically, in one respect, forgives the killer or the alleged killer, and then wants a speedy trial. And then you're realizing, wait a minute, there's no evidence there. So remember, what people are going to do is, if you want to jump on board to the Erica, you say she's a widow, and you keep using this trope and this meme, keep using it, but it doesn't work. And the thing is, nobody cares about Erica Kirk. Nobody likes her, and she's the antidote. She's the anti-Candace. Nobody cares for her. They're already backing off immediately. They realize this is not working. They were canceling different chapters at TPUSA. She's a fraud. She's a phony. And what she's in is for herself. She also basically cuts off Charlie's family. Shall I go on? I mean, you can do this. So if, in view of the foregoing and the averments cited, if you think that's what this is, and you want to recycle and use, and again, this is up to you, a mindless trope, these tropisms, these kind of, I guess you'd call them almost a, I guess maybe you almost call them like a kata, like one of these, how do I say this? These martial arts prepared thing. That is fine. And we are, and that's okay. Raul Rodriguez says, will TPUSA allow a debate between Candace and Erica? No, never. But Erica will not be able to withstand the attention if it's framed correctly. I am Foxtrot says, love you, Uncle Lionel. Continue to stand for the truth. Yes, you see what I'm saying? The truth. And by the way, folks who want to stand for justice and freedom, be very careful of any kind of organization which has grandiose titles. Anything in there, justice, freedom, liberty, democracy, whatever, America, whatever that is. No. You see, and I'm glad you brought this up, what people are understanding very, very carefully is that young people in particular love truth. There is nothing true about the Erica Kirk TPUSA movement or Brigitte Macron or any of the others for that matter. And the Laura Loomers. By the way, remember last night, where is Laura Loomer? If I didn't know better, I think somebody told her, that's enough, shut up, go away. Go away, come back another day. You're not, I don't know. And why, if anyone, and I'm not trying to be champertus, whatever, but if anybody deserved any kind of litigation for what I think is a prima facie case of bad faith and malice in terms of libel, it is Laura Loomer against Candace. But that's for her. That's up to her to decide. Maybe in the long run, maybe litigation. I think is it might be very, very passe. But litigation gets people's attention, and it might open up the chance for discovery because you know and I know that the people who are behind Laura Loomer, not Laura Loomer, she was a Christian. She was all, I don't even know her story is. I really don't know enough about it. But you see, what we are floating in, what Erica Kirk is a phony, this widow who I would not be surprised if Charlie was planning. There were some talks about it before his death for him to talk about maybe seeking lawyers. He was very disconsolate, very, very sad, very, very disillusioned with everything towards the end. And if you believe any of this, he did not enjoy or like the political, geopolitical platform of our country. He did not like what was happening in the Middle East. He did not like, he was going to have a full Doge type of review of his TPUSA. And if anybody really wanted to have a list of suspects, you would have to ask yourself, under the theory of who benefits, cui bono, cui prodest, you would probably say, I wonder if somebody within the confines of TPUSA, maybe a name we've never heard, might have done something to perhaps work with others to facilitate the dispatch and the removal. Because what happened was they took Charlie out. Somebody took Charlie out, not Tyler Robinson, but somebody did. And what did it do? If you let Erica Kirk stay there and basically just suck the oxygen out of the room and kill Charlie's legacy, because that's what she's doing. Every time she raises that stupid, I just want to go home, that lacrimating maw, that childish, juvenescent, puerile little girl persona, this absolutely is critical. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Thank you very much. You know what helps me sleep at night? Justice. Getting to the bottom of the truth. Standing up for Charlie, for his legacy, for what he believed in. And let me tell you something. Nothing brings more people to the dinner plate, to the banquet of liberty and freedom and justice and all these wonderful words which people throw around, than to see what happened to that young man. At the prime of his life, he was gunned down, not by Tyler Robinson, that flimsy idea, not from a young man with a rifle that was never linked to the murder. not with a young man who never even confessed to anybody. Somebody confessed for him in this kind of a cosplay rendition of some kabuki, whatever this was, on Discord or whatever. Oh, no, no, no. What makes me sleep at night is to stand up for truth and to say that, Charlie, we're going to do this for you. And we're going to take your motivation and we're going to turn this into a real political motive, not some organization that's got a lot of, flames and flags and no. Remember, whenever you want to throw somebody off, use all of the little symbols of truth and dilute them with it. Our good friend Dog's Nose says, you are attracting bots, means you are over the target. Bots, by the way, thank you. You're right about this. Bots are a signal. One of the things is people use metrics, and metrics are important. Metrics say how many people liked, how long did they listen. But we should have not so much bot metrics, but almost like shills, trolls, things like that. That's a better one. See, if nothing is happening to you, if you don't threaten anyone because you only take flack when you're over the target, if it doesn't happen. But I appreciate, and I would love to debate anyone about this. Love it. So long as we really want to talk. I don't yell and scream. But if I'm right, and I'm right about this, and if I know the facts, which I do, this is terrific. When somebody uses the old tropism, the old saw, you're going after an innocent, dare I say, what am I trying to say? You're going after an innocent widow, this poor widow. You're using all of the canned schmaltz there is. 201 says, hello, sir. Finally caught alive from England. Excellent. Welcome. And by the way, we're watching your great country because you're losing it not only to this deluge of people destroying your borders, perfusing and extravasating your culture, your history, your tradition. And we're watching you, the great people of the UK, being threatened with everything from, I don't know what you want to call it, from being in jail for what people say, for posting online. See, that's another thing. Our sense of freedom, our ability to speak, is being affected by so many things. The latest one is the anti-Semitism trope. Nick Kristof from the New York Times, oh my God, wrote a series of, and by the way, his latest piece, which goes through, whether you believe it or not, serious and considering and very, very substantial vetting from the New York Times. Before you put a story out, they really go out of their way, whether you believe it or not. And instead of saying that Nick Kristof is wrong regarding allegations of horrors that have been directed towards and have been responsible for allegations of Palestinian SA abuse from the part of Israeli captors, instead of saying it's wrong, you're wrong, you got it wrong, they're saying, no, this is anti-Semitic. When people talked about Abu Ghraib, remember Lindy England? Remember that thing? She was a real troll. Remember the troll doll? Remember that with the hair, that thing? She looked like a troll doll. She looked like a troll, a real gnome or one of those garden things. When they said, that's ridiculous, the case of Abu Ghraib is wrong, they didn't say they didn't have a name for it. What was anti-American? Well, everybody was anti-American. They didn't have anti-Semitism. So what you've done is you've habituated people to that accusation and it doesn't mean anything. Pat Am says, hi, Lionel. I was finally here from Switzerland. I think we got to do this earlier. I think we're missing this whole thing. I like this. Welcome. I'm going to be, you know what? This might be our new time. I'm always trying to get new people, bring them on board, and thank you for this. To bring people on board, have them watch, have them listen. Because what I give you and what I'm talking about is I'm going to appeal to the truth generation. I want younger people to say, listen, you might be in your 30s, you might be four, I don't care, 50s young, whatever you want, whatever the number is, the chronicle amount of time that you've traversed the sun. All of that's nice and all of that's groovy. But what I'm saying to you is that you've got to worry about something. This week, by the way, look at this. So many young people. Napa, this is great. And the UK, oh my God, how we love our brothers and sisters across the pond and elsewhere. In the Middle East, in the Near East, in the global South, everywhere. There's this thing which I wanted to tell you about. I always have this. I bought this at a place. For those of you, we had this thing called the Dollar Store, Dollar General Dollar Store. And I got this it was so terrific. I don't know why I got this, but I love my globe. And you see, Americans only think this. See this? That's us. This is the part that has all the colors and all the cultures and all the languages. And that's where I'm interested in. And this past week, we saw something which is so incredible. The president of the United States meeting with Xi Jinping. And if you want to read, I read one of the finest disquisitions ever from Pepe Escobar in this wonderful, from the Cradle. And if you ever read, it's called The Cradle. And he is, it's thecradle.co. And war in Iran reshapes the war of connectivity corridors. One of the most brilliant scholarly pieces ever. It is like nothing you've ever seen before. And it involves a way of looking at it and involves a way of looking at the world. A couple of things happen. This is two things. One, when the president met with Xi Jinping, and the first thing he did was he leaned in and right off the bat got to the notion of Taiwan. He said, remember, you don't want to go there. Right off the bat, not hello, how are you, how you doing? No. Next thing he talk about Thucydides' trap and how this was from Graham Allison, the Harvard, the successor to Kissinger. Don't take everything he says. Take it with a grain of salt. Cum grano salis, as we say. But he talked about Thucydides' trap, in which an emerging power will take on and challenge an established global power. And I think he said out of 16 noted cases of such, 12 ended in war. The last being the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the end of World War I. And remember, Santayana said those who do not know history are forced to repeat it. But also remember one thing, what Tolstoy said. Tolstoy said history would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. So one of the things which I believe in is history as a matter of learning practice. I cannot describe the UK unless I go back to everything from Maggie Thatcher and before to understand the development, the trend of British politics and the like. I can't do this. I can't understand American goings on if I don't understand how things have happened in the past. Because remember, what was that? History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. So there are things you must know. And many times there are folks, not only in my generation, but before, who discount as such. Oh, our dear friend is back. Our dear friend says, you're not over the target. Feel free to present your evidence of Erica's supposed guilt Without it, you're just a scumbag attacking Charlie's widow. Now we're into repetition. By the way, evidence of Erica's supposed guilt. Guilt of what? I never said guilt. Did you hear me say guilt? I never said she had anything to do with Charlie's dispatch. In fact, Erica did. Candace didn't either. And what happens is, remember, a couple of things here. When you don't know what to say, use pejoratives and epithets and wax coprolalic. Scumbag, drop F-bombs, don't know what to do, and misattribute the issue. And thank you, by the way, for your contribution. The issue, by the way, is not her guilt, because she's so profoundly stupid. She's a bag of rocks. She has no business being there. Had she stayed home with her family, tended to her children, nobody would have ever brought her name up. And she knows that. She knows that. She's a woman who's craved attention her whole life. So that's it. Nobody's ever suggested anything about her guilt. So, and you see, if this is the opposition, we're in fine fettle, as they say. So anyway, so you have to look at the history of things. What is happening right now in terms of China is critical. And in my country, the people who represented the conservatives watch Fox News. Livia, here she is, says, completely off the topic, but thank you for using Latin. I mocked so much for learning Gregorian chant when I was in university. Well, I spoke classical Latin. And remember the great, we remember the great Catalinic orations. Cicero, not Cicero, but Cicero. By the way, Cicero said, Marcus Tullius Cicero said, my favorite is, no sane man will dance. Men dancing, other than dancing with a woman versus at them. Oh, you should see Mrs. L and I dance. We did the lambada before it had a name. It's filthy, disgusting, but in a way that's very artful. But a couple of things, but we remembered one of the great Catalinic orations. One was, quousque tandem abutere Catalina patientia nostra, meaning, how long do we got to put up with this? Wonderful orations, wonderful. The sounds of, anyway. So that was I still have a great place in my heart. Dan Dangler says, hey, Lionel, hope you're doing well today. Thanks for streaming on the weekends. Well, thank you. Well, this is my time. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Who knows? Who knew, rather? I don't know. We see, I guess I do it at night, but for you, that's too late. So I'm going to do it in the morning. How about both? What I want people to do is I want people to come in and to understand this. And remember something. And I do agree with our Liberty, Freedom, Republic, whatever friend. Too much time, too much attention has been paid to Erica in many respects because she's insignificant. She's insignificant. Just go away. Doesn't matter. She's in there and she loves the attention. We're getting away from some very, very serious stories, some very serious things. We're looking at the midterm elections in our country here. That's number one. Number two, we're looking at 2028. And we're looking at a world with issues that nobody has even considered. They haven't even considered. And what is the most important, what's happening in Europe, what's happening in terms of Asia, and what's happening still. Have you noticed that nobody's even talking anymore about Ukraine and NATO, which is Osios, concretized. It is ossified, this ancient relic post-Cold War. Post-Cold War. We're also seeing issues that are happening regarding AI that nobody has yet to even figure out or come close to. And what's happening right now is there's a lot of people who I think can be attracted to Candace. It's very, very important. Also, Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is extremely important. Extremely. This guy was reaching out to Orban years ago, which is important. The first thing Let us remember, let us all take a deep breath and start off with this. Number one, start from scratch. Forget the idea of whoever you thought was the good guys or the bad guys. Just drop it. Forget them. Throw them away. Throw this issue away. The good guys and the bad guys mean absolutely nothing. The good guys and the bad guys. Who are the bad guys? Who? There was a time years ago when we always applied this Manichaean application of good versus evil. This apodictic left and right, good, bad guys, good guys. Who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? Where are the good guys? And in the old days, the bad guys were, believe it or not, the anarchists. And this is the time of Emma Goldman, Sacco, and Vanzetti. They got McKinley, my fraternity brother. I might have been under the tutelage of Emma Goldman herself. Anyway, that was that. Later on, we went to the communists. And the communists started, it was very interesting. Communism in our country, the name did not have any, at least as far as the economic version of this, the planned economy, but especially after, imagine this, 1918, imagine World War I, there was the bonus riots. They said, where's our money? Douglas MacArthur said that he was willing, later on, he would have opened fire and killed American veterans who had set up tents in Washington. He would have done this. Our country can go fascist like that if it hasn't already. Don't think we're perpetually the good guys. Don't think that everybody's here to help you. Oh, no. So forget the good guys and the bad guys. And by the way, it goes for the UK, it goes for Europe, it goes for everything. East Asia, every place. Every place. There is no such thing. Number two, find out who really runs the show. Who really runs it? What controls everything? What controls the NFL? American football. What? The fans? No. Players? No. Owners? No. Television contracts. That's what runs it. There's always a feeder behind it. There's always a reason for this. So who are the good guys in the world? I don't know. In the Middle East, even forget that one. Even forget that. Next, nobody's good. Nobody's nice. Everybody does something rotten. Everybody does something terrible. You want to talk about our good friends, the UK? I don't want to break it to you, but one of the biggest cons in the world is how great and groovy Winston Churchill was, and Edward VII. Perfide Albion. Do you remember what that is? Perfidious Albion? You people have been the most, before Mossad and the CIA, there was the mentality of British. They were MI6 before that. They created the notion of the intel state. Nobody was better than them. Nobody. I mean, they had it down. All the great, the Cambridge, was it 7 or 6, Kim Philby and everything. Winston Churchill, and specifically Edward, who was it? Queen Victoria's son? Was it Edward? I'm sorry. I think it was Edward VII. You got us into World War II. Perfide Albion. What? Using this game theory notion, this game theory practice of tertius gaudens. This is where you interpose, you bring somebody else into the fray and then you back out. If you're in a bar fight, somebody's clobbering you, bring in your friend and say, hey, you know what this guy said about you? He said your mother's a hooah. What? They go at it and you back up. World War II. Who was responsible for that? Did we have to go into war? Was it not? I'm not going to argue whether World War II was not, I'm not going to go through that again. But don't think for a moment that all of a sudden it was just some groovy thing where all of a sudden World War, the Japanese attacked us. We wanted that. That was goaded. And who was responsible for that? The Brits. No hard feelings, but they were the government, not the British people. I still think the salt of the earth are from Newcastle and the Geordies. I think they're the best. That's my opinion. Not Prince, not Chuck. That reptilian, this version of this monarchical vestige, this anachronistic, I don't know what you want to call it. It's hysterically funny that you would even still have that you would have that. You would even allow that. Dear God, it's the most incredible thing I've ever heard in my life. This is from a man who has his shoelaces ironed, from a bunch of homozygotic inbred cousins. They're still in power, and they are the most powerful family on the face of the earth. Forget the royal, forget the Emirates, forget the Saudis, forget that. Oh, no, they are. And they are absolutely, positively, they are Margaret. And by the way, this is not to blame the British people are fantastic. But Prince Chuck's best buddy was Jimmy Savile. You know it and I know it. He openly flaunted it, told the rest of the world, yeah, this is my friend. Yeah, he's a pederast. Yes, he's a predator. So what? What are you going to do about it? And it's not a PDF file. That's the wrong term, by the way. That merely denotes somebody who finds an attraction to somebody. The moment you put that attraction into action, if a man were to attack a woman, SA as we call it, and were to violate this woman intimately, got to be watching his language. Is it because of my attraction to women? Now think about that. Think about that. Would you call it another heterosexual attack? No. Well, you're attracted to people of the opposite sex. This is violence. This is not an attraction. There were people, by the way, let me explain this. I don't think I'm getting off cue, but this is important. One of the biggest issues we have to always protect is the ability to think. And it's not the thought police that scare me, it's the thought vigilantes. If a person were to have sick and disgusting fantasies and attractions, but never acted them out, never, just thought terrible, awful, horrible things, but never acted them out, so what? If nobody ever was the beneficiary of that disgust. There was a listen to this. There was a case here of an NYPD cop who shouldn't have been a cop. There's no doubt about that. Lionel merch, ask for it by name. Look at that. Christmas is just around the corner. It's a great stocking stuffer. Fine for dad or grad. Anyway, there was a fellow years ago who was a police officer. And he was involved in some online thing, and he was into cannibalism. Not actual, but just the thought. It was a fantasy thing, role playing, and I don't know if it was a LARP or who knows. And he would go into details about his wife. And can you tell me where to get a pan? How do I get a pan? Where do I get an oven? I mean, I'm serious. He went into this detail about, anybody got a bone saw? And what the hell are you talking? And it was nothing. He wasn't doing anything. He was talking about it. It's sick. Should not have been a cop. Of course it's disgusting. Of course it is. But anyway, but they were going to charge him and all this stuff. And the court said, his ID goes, no, that's a thought. It's disgusting. Granted. We can't let this happen. Why? If I go out and if I'm an Anglophobe and I just defile and desecrate the good and great people through execration, through this incredibly horrible attacks towards the great people of Great Britain, Britons, Britons, and I say terrible things about you when you forget culture. There's no law against that. I can say stuff about the United States. Happens all the time. There's no law against that. But if somebody here in the United States decides to wear a keffiyeh and go on a college campus and say free Palestine, and he loses his scholarship, what? Wait a minute. He didn't do anything. Now, the moment you threaten somebody, the moment you hurt somebody, this is another story. So be very, very careful of that. Oh, look who it is. This Hugs for Pugs, who says Americans are starving for truth and justice. So maybe a third-party name can be called Americans for Truth and Justice. Could be, but be careful. Thank you, by the way. Don't use words like freedom, justice, liberty, like our friends use. By the way, I can show you some speeches that Hitler made regarding Christianity. I swear to God, you would think the Archbishop of Canterbury gave them. Do not be mistaken. Who was it? Sinclair? Was it Upton Sinclair? Or Sinclair Lewis? I forget who said that. That if ever there's fascism that comes to this country, it'll be wrapped in a flag. By the way, flag studies, vexillology. I like our flag. It's not a fetish. Vexillology, Vexillology. It's a weird spelling. I don't wear. By the way, in this country, Lionel's law, there's an inverse proportionality between the size of a lapel pin and the flag and what they know about history. People don't know anything about American history. They don't know anything about it. So names or whatever, just call it truth. Very, very simple. Another rule about politics: three issues maximum. 3 issues maximum. I can go into, if you walked in and said, listen, I want you to give a speech. Who are they? Tell me 5 seconds before I hit the stage who it is. I'll give them a speech. Okay, you're talking to a bunch of Hungarians. Got it. You're talking to a bunch of Britons. Got it. I want the British people to return back to the traditions and the values and the culture and the history of Great Britain, of the UK, and what you as a proud people have begun. If I go to London, I want to know your language. I'm kidding. Who was it who said we're separated by a common language? I think Churchill said that one. Oh, look who it is. Stuttering John Corleone says, I love what you're doing. You're the New York Lionel. You're the New York Lion. Indeed. Thank you for that. See, if I want to go to London, I've never been. I want to say, do me a favor. I don't want to go to Buckingham Palace or wherever the hell it is. I don't care about that. Show me what it's like to live there. Take me to a neighborhood. Show me like Birmingham versus, I don't know, whatever it is. I got to go see Newcastle. I got to see the Geordies. I love these people. I don't know why. But show me different places. Show me what to eat. Give me mushy peas. Do all that stuff. Just let me, I want to know what you're like. I want to hear the accents. I want to hear what it's like to be authentic UK. I don't want to hear this bullshit about posh. No. Tell me what it's like. And I want to know, and I want to respect your culture and your traditions and your slang and your food. And I want to assimilate, but I don't want to replace. I don't want to replace American values, whatever they are, with yours. But that's not what they're doing. And by the way, I believe in living in a country. The truth is we prosper. If you came to New York, and I drove around in my Yugo, it's a stretch, by the way. It's a classic. But if I drove you around, Mrs. Ellen, I would show you, said, let me show you something. We're going to go to Brooklyn. We're going to go to Little Odessa, Brighton Beach. You won't believe it. Russia, Ukrainian, oh my God, it's incredible. Then I'll take you to Flushing, Queens. You'll think you're in Beijing. Then I'll take you to Little Korea, Little Italy, take you to Chilean place, Little Brazil. I'll take you places, enclaves, where Greeks in Astoria, name it, where people came to our country and assimilated, blended in, became intermeshed with, brought their cultures, and we love it. The food is phenomenal. Today in New York City, we have, is that the 9th Avenue Food Fair? Yeah. We have these little food fairs, where huge blocks or people sell stuff, and I love it. But what some people want to do is they want to come to my country and they want to decide, okay, and by the way, religions are fantastic. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter what you are. Jewish, Muslim, doesn't matter. I don't care. Good. This is America. We have the First Amendment, which has the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause, which guarantees your ability to freely exercise your faith. But what they want to do is they want to come into certain places like Dearborn, Michigan, and have calls to prayer at 5 o'clock in the morning, loud. And they don't just want to come in and say, hey, we're going to assimilate, or we're going to add Muslim culture, and fine. Oh, no. They want to have everybody walking around in hijabs and abayas, not burqas. And they want you to say, what happened? What's this? That's what used to be called Dearborn. Now it's whatever it is. No. Then you lose American flavor. I don't want anybody going into the UK and destroying your history, your tradition, your culture. Remember Marine Le Pen? Marine Le Pen, I kind of liked her. They called her a right wing, a radical. Anybody who says that, you're with me 100%. Why? Because normally they're not. But whenever you call somebody that, racist, but I want to talk to them. Why? Because they're not racist. The racists are the people who pretend that they're nicey. Those are the people who kill you with kindness. Those are the racists. In any event, Marine Le Pen, one time they asked her, what do you think about burkinis? Sounds like one of these, like a martini. But no, it's a burqa and a bikini. Women wear burqas at the beach, whatever it was. Anyway, which might be a better idea because of the sun exposure. But anyway, she said, no, that's not French. And I like that because she believes in maintaining the integrity of her culture, of where she's from, of what she believes in. I love it. Absolutely love it. So that's what I believe in. And that's the truth. That's the truth. In our culture, we have this thing. I'm in New York City. And my wife and I, we know more gay people than you ever know. Ever. And it wasn't even a big deal. It didn't matter. A couple of years ago, knowing gay people was like saying, how many left-handed people do you know? I was like, I don't know. I never noticed. That's what it was. Being gay had no relevance. It had no relevance. It's just, you know any pipe smokers? Well, not the slang, but I mean, do you, interesting. I get the joke. Anyway, do you know? I said, I don't know. Well, then all of a sudden it became identitarian with a flag. Here's a flag. I'm gay, damn it. God, I'm gay. Okay, all right, take it easy. Whatever. Okay, all right. What is this? And then all of a sudden, it was a couple of years ago, it was right before COVID mania kicked in. They said, we believe in having not bisexual, or multisexual, whatever they're called, unisexual bathrooms. And at first I thought, what difference does it make? I said, first of all, who's in a bathroom long enough to know who's in the bathroom? I said, okay, whatever, maybe. I didn't even think about it. Didn't even see what was coming. Then all of a sudden, there's men in there. Because there are these freaks. There are these freaks who, once I wave the magic lint brush, if I say, okay, friends, ding, 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 ding. All right, freaks, out of the closet, out of the sewer, out of the trees, let's go. And they start swarming. It's like, who are these people? These are the militant transsexual, the transgender. What are they? I don't know. You'll see that all of a sudden there was this perfusion. It was like somebody put into our IV, our PIC line, this, and all of a sudden, who is this? Then everybody became trans. I'm identifying my pronoun. Your pronouns? Overnight. Overnight. I was amazed. I said, are you watching this? Are you watching this? Are you seeing what's happening? Overnight. Where'd they come from? Who knew? And then Hollywood. Oh, Hollywood. Hollywood is the rat's nest, the cloaca, the sewer. By the way, cloaca, is another lower GI term for, you got it. But it is the repository. It is the grease trap of every sick vermin there is. All those people who took all the USAID money, all the people who are forever committed, the Clooneys and the Hanks and all these people who are making the Robert De Niro, Rob Reiner, remember this? Oh, I got a lot to tell you about this. These people for the longest time were just there. So all of a sudden, they were paid because Hollywood is dead. Pictures are dead. The movies are dead. The concerts are dead. Poor Madonna. Madonna is my age, by the way. We're 1950. She was like August. She's like a day or two older than me or younger. She's walking around with her ass hanging out. It's pathetic. I mean, it's like, what are you doing, honey? Come on, please stop it. Show your age. Sheryl Crow is getting older, but she's not, she has the political, intellect of an onion ring, but she's even Stevie Nicks is not acting like a fool. But not Madonna. No, Madonna's still sexy. Anyway, so she's out there, all these freaks. So what happens is when Doge came along, which lasted about an hour, when Elon came in, and all of a sudden the federal money's dried up, all of a sudden the people they're scared shitless. Like, what do we do? Well, all of a sudden they said, okay, here's what we're going to do. I suspect this is my working model. How many transgenders do you know? I'm Virgo, by the way. Virgo, not Leo. Virgo. By the way, 1958, my group was Alec Baldwin, Angela Bassett, Madonna, Prince, Michael Jackson. And a lot of us are... Michael Jackson, I think, was... Yeah. Anyway. Make a long story very, 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 very short. We've been here and we knew, and my wife worked with music industry and Broadway before. She knew, and I through her, one actual, real transgender. Surgery, hormones, everything. You got it? I mean, legit. Went through hell. Gays? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Very, very effeminate gays. Oh, yeah. People who were old enough to be a part of the Stonewall generation, who were a part of the riot, the Stonewall riot, 1969, changed everything. Anyway, it's a long story. So yeah. But they were all identified as men and women. We knew men and women. We knew sapphic folks. We knew lesbians. We don't even say lesbians anymore. It used to be the lesbian community. It doesn't even say that. But they were, but their sexual identity and their gender were completely different. The gay men said, "Oh, I'm a man. But okay, fine." And the woman said, "No, I'm a woman," and they would say, "I'm attracted to women," and gay men would say, "I'm attracted to men." So if you obfuscate men and women, you basically neuter their sexual preference because no, they want men. They don't want women, they want men. See what I'm saying? Okay. So all of a sudden, like I told you, we know one. But let me ask you a question. From Magic Johnson to just go down the list. How can this very small group of people called the Hollywood elites have such a high proportion of children who are themselves transgender? Do you believe that perhaps they might have been cajoled, wheedled, pushed, prompted, promoted, prodded into assuming this in order to keep the money coming? What am I saying? You know exactly what I'm saying. Do you think these people sacrifice their own children for their own prosperity? If you don't answer that yes, you don't know these people. Do you know what has happened since the beginning of time? Since the days of, oh my God, Clara Bow. I can Charlie Chaplin. Forget Fatty Arbuckle. That's too easy. I can tell you Clark Gable and Jean Harlow stories that'll blow your mind. Roaring 20s, some of the sickest people. It was Degenerateville. I mean, Shirley Temple, what they put her through, Judy Garland. Oh my God, they would sell kids. I mean, it's like, here. And we think we just discovered this. So anyway, these people their world is collapsing. The Met Gala. I had a friend of mine who was very, very involved in catering. And he said, you would not believe what he has seen. Something happens to people. Believe it or not, very important people think that when you go backstage at places or in kitchens like restaurants, they'll do dope deals. They think that they're invisible or something. You cannot believe. Have you ever heard, my friends, who has heard of yachting? Anybody raise your hand? Yachting? Does that term come to mind? Is that meaning to you? Yachting. Have you ever heard of the term yachting? Yachting is a phrase. And you notice how many famous people now have yachts. Everybody's got a yacht. Not yacht clubs, yachting. Yachting is where I go out in my yacht, 3 miles out, 4 miles, 5 miles, whatever it is, and I will say, hey, we've got some B-list actors, C, and I cannot tell you the list of who the yachters are. It's prostitution. But it works like this. Remember in the old days when, and I'm not saying they are, but remember when Paris Hilton and others would go to a club, pay them $100,000 to show up and go, hi, and then, that's sort of the idea. Hey, I've got a party on my yacht. Who's going to be there? Wow, we've got some notables, and we have some, how'd you like to hang out with? Pick your best B-list, sometimes A-list, but B-listers. And you go to these people and say, how would you like to be with people who are not even rich, but sultanates, potentates, meditate, masturbate, you name it. People from oil-rich Brunei, this and that, and Hollywood. How'd you like to come on and hang out? We'll pay you $500,000, $1 million, depending upon who you are. $1 million, nothing. And then you tell those people, come on out, and you'll meet so-and-so. They're passed around like a buffet. All of it, by the way, on camera. Everything recorded. Everything, always, because Epstein is just the tip of the iceberg. So those are called yachters, yachting. You go out there, and you wouldn't believe the names. There is a world of news, the dark web of news you don't see. You're not going to see it. We see it. It's blind gossip, also industry people. If I told you the names of people, if we sat around with a bunch of people in the know, let's say in Hollywood, and I said, all right, the following list, the following people are gay, you would fall over. You wouldn't believe it. So closeted, so cosseted, so protected, it would blow your mind. These bastards who want some poor kid in Dothan, Alabama to come out and tell everybody, hey, I'm gay, get their ass kicked in school, but they're not telling anybody because they realize that kills their, how do I say this? It kills their worth, as it were. It kills their marketability. If you're some big time, what am I saying? If you're some big time, I guess you'd call it some action hero, and by the way, this goes for sports stars as well. If you're some big time action hero and you're out there and come on, you wouldn't believe, you probably, maybe you know this, don't know this. Let me show you how innocent people are. Years ago, when I did stand up, was on the, before it was cool, but was out on the circuit, so to speak, here in the New York area, did it all the time. Knew a lot of people and, whatever it was. Comics are the sickest group of people you ever see. I mean, not only are they, remember Louis C.K.? Louis C.K., oh, he's a freak. Louis C.K. is a monk compared to these people. They're all degenerates. They're missing, vacant, vapid, void, vacuous, people bereft of soul. They're as funny as stillbirth. They are just horrible people. Horrible. They have no sense of humor. They have patterned, performative things already memorized, but they're not funny. They're not entertaining. They're not smart. And they're just degenerates. I'm telling you, you don't want to know these people. They're not funny, and they sit around and they pretend all of a sudden, and their idea of jokes are anyway. But backing up, these people are so disgusting and they're vile. And we are under the, and I never thought I'd say this, we are contaminated by evil. Whatever you want to call it. The devil, Satan, Luciferian, demons, dark forces, Antichrist. The Antichrist makes the most sense of them all. It's from the book of John. That's about deception. And what is the Antichrist? AI. AI. When you really understand what the Antichrist is, it's AI. Now, I'm not saying whether you believe in it, but you understand the notion. Anyway, so we are filled, and young people want the truth. This is the truth generation. And that's why people like Candace and others, and why Charlie Kirk was so important, because this was a guy who told young people, I want to give you a spirit of commitment to a wife, commitment to a family, commitment to. Now, did you see when poor Charlie was a virgin? Okay, fine. I'm sorry. You know what? I don't like the idea that we call people virgins. There's a lot of things I've never done before. Hunted, play golf. I'm not trying to compare the two, but there's a lot of stuff we don't do. And the fact that I've never done something should not define me. You should tell people you have sex at your speed, whatever it is. If you do have sex before you're married, it doesn't make you a bad person, but don't feel compelled to do this. So he obviously was a virgin. And by the way, that Erica was a butaneda. I'm not saying she was a trollop or a slattern or some meretrix, but she plied her wares. And when poor Charlie was saying, and that's why you should stay up and not have sex before you're married. Right, honey? And this jadrul, this Erica, we believe in Jesus. Huh? And we believe in Jesus. Yeah, right. I'm not talking about Jesus. Honey, you didn't have sex, did you? Before you got married? Like you told me? And we believe in the story of Jesus. You're doing the Jesus thing again, aren't you? Answer my question. Come on, you know it. What are you talking about, for the love of God? Come on, stop it. But there are young people who tell me about this. And there are young people out there who want to know what it is to court, to fall in love, to do things the way we used to do it, to pitch woo. That's right, my friends. By the way, hand farts to all my friends in the UK. This is the way I say hello. This is my way. This is my peace sign. This is my cowabunga buffalo bob. This is it. This says it all. Because this is the universal sound of flatulence. I can walk into any bar, any place, any part of the world. I may not know your language, but that will crack up the room like nobody's business. Why is that? I don't know. Blazing Saddles. The campfire scene. Absolute hilarity. Go to the dentist. When they put that thing on you, say, hey, watch out, fire in the hole, incoming. Sorry about that. Little breakfast burrito action there. Sorry, better back up, my friend. Better back up. Is there a window in here? How about an exhaust fan? People love it. And I send hand farts to you, my friend. Everybody do it. Come on, do it back. Let's all do this. This is going to be our signal, not the peace sign, not any kind of weird kind of pin or some flag. Imagine being in Trafalgar Square, Piccadilly Circus, where everybody's doing this at one time. Some huge global, we are the world. This is called crepitation, by the way. Manualism. Imagine the world sending that out. But I digress. Am I sick? Oh, yeah. Am I juvenescent? Oh, yeah. Most assuredly. Do I have the sense of humor of a child? Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kids love this. Kids love this. You meet a little kid, he goes, "Hi, how are you? Did you do that? What? That was you, what? It was not." And they look at you like, "Who is this guy?" And you kind of wink at him and they say, "That was great. Do it again." And the parents say, "Don't do that." No, this is TV. And your kid said, "This is great. I'm doing it." Yeah, me. I'm from generations far from you. I'm like your granddad, but I'm the cool granddad. I'm the one who was like naughty, who takes the cover for you, but always figures, you know what? There's no event that we can do without cracking up. Let's stop taking this stuff so seriously, because one of these days we're all going to be dead and none of this matters. In any event, what a delightful day. What a delightful day. So I haven't even scratched the surface. I've given you thousands of ideas. My mind goes into I'm sorry to say it, I don't know what you call it, a stream of consciousness, stream of urine, stream of whatever it is, the old mill stream. I don't know, but it's a sense of mentation and fluidity. It's a seemingly endless barrage of inconsequential, disparate, disconnected, completely undisciplined thoughts. It's like a psychoanalytic belch. It's like it's a form of you know what I mean? It's just that's what I do. We're just having a bit of fun, having some good crack, as my Irish friends would say. Good crack, that CRAIC. Have some good crack. God bless the Irish. The greatest, wonderful. Who, of course, speak in ways I don't understand what they're saying. This one there, this man there. Fuck there, what the fuck's sake? The one there adopted me. This one, your one there, your man Trump. The kid there, your man. What the hell are you talking about? Your one, You know how we say, So I was walking on the street, Some Irish folks, I don't say, And I thought they were saying, huh? I thought, poor guy, people are deaf. They're deaf. What's the matter with you? Can't you hear me? Anyway, love them. We have it. Let me tell you something. I could take you on a tour of our country and show you around this place. And there'll be parts of it. I could show you some Appalachian and some folks. I could take you to Chipley, Florida, or Sopchoppy, and you won't know what the hell they're saying. So every country has their aspects of this. Ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you. Thank you for not being who you are, but what you appear to be. Let us enjoy this again. Let's do this again. I'm going to do other versions of this. It is a delight. I'm going to do more. I'm going to do more morning. What's the best time? Was this? I did it 11:30 a.m. our time. Is maybe 9 o'clock or 10? I don't know. But to get more of our, EU friends, got to do it earlier to accommodate your schedule. There's something about being live. Just think we're being live. It's 12:40 p.m. now. I think this is kind of groovy. We'll do this. My ancestors will love you. Oh, the Irish are the best. This one there, the one that takes, one there. This one there, your man there, you want to Trump. Trump here, the one there, Xi Jinping there, the bastard after me. You know what's good too when you meet with some folks and you bring translators. That's all I want to say. God bless these people. 5:40 in the UK. This is terrific. This is going to be our time. Terrific. Absolutely wonderful. Wonderful. All right, my friends. Oh, you say that's Scottish? I can't do Scottish at all. Can't do Scots. Can't do it. Can't do it. Would love to. Would love to. Completely. See, I love Aussies, Kiwis. I like, how do I say this? And I don't mean, I like the working class version of what you're supposed to be. Give me those folks. Give me your food. Don't give me the refined stuff. Give me what the peasants eat, what you eat. That's it. I want to know the jokes. I want the whatever it is, that's when you understand a culture the best, the finest. You know what I'm saying? All right, my friends. All right, my friends, thank you so very much. You were tremendous. Please, by the way, good news, follow my wife, Mrs. L, at Lynn's Warriors. She's doing yeoman's work, incredible work. Go to Lynn's Warriors, sign up for her channel. You cannot believe what she is doing to protect, especially in dealing with the family members and the parents of children who have lost their lives by virtue of digital predation. And let her tell you. Also, make sure you sign up. You are subscribed to our channel here. 50-60% of the people who watch this don't subscribe. I don't know what that's about. Like the video. I know it's a pain in the ass. People say, what did you like? I know everybody wants you to like it, but it's really true. It puts us on the HOV lane of listenership. Also, please make sure you hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, dear friends, I always say thank you for this. Follow us. Remember, let's have fun, but let's think. And let us join Candace and others in this the truth generation. Let's take these young folks that are saying, I like this, and move beyond the notion of Erica. Because Erica's not going to be here. Erica's not, she's already on her way out. Nobody cares. It's sad. It's pathetic. We don't mean her any harm, but she's out of her league. And they want her out because she's all but destroyed whatever was left of TPUSA, which they destroyed when they decided to remove Charlie. All right, my friends? Okay. All right, we love you. And also, remember, Lynn's Warriors, go and sign up right now. I want to see those numbers because for some reason, and I'll figure this one out, she is very absolutely brutal and true regarding predation on the part of big tech. And I don't think they like that. So what do? They affect numbers. So help her out. Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. All right, dear friends, we'll talk to you later. Have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much. You were fantastic. Until we see each other again, remember, the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.